Hello my lovely lot, I'm here to share with you some wonderful summer brights. Lippies, just lots and lots of lippies. Mostly new ones I don't think you've seen and some favourites. But whether you're wearing a denim shirt or just a white t-shirt, it's just a wonderful way to possibly elevate your makeup if you haven't changed it in a while. And there's some really lovely colours and some new textures that I wanted to share with you. So that's what we're doing this afternoon, this morning. I'm doing it this afternoon, but you're probably in bed at 8 AM watching it because I know that's what a lot of you do, and that's just wonderful. Always keep those live comments coming in from whenever you're waking up, maybe in Australia, comes in the afternoon, or whether it's 9 o'clock in the morning when I launch on Saturday. It's always good to know. All right, we're going to start basic and then we're going to step up. We're going to start with the lip balm. Now this is such a great price. I think it was $4.49 or $4.99. Bondi Sands. I really love this Australian sun care brand. It's absolutely brilliant. This is their lip balm and I hadn't tried this before, but it's SPF 50 in Juicy Watermelon. I'm going to match this with another great priced product, which is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Lip Liner in 110 Spice. This is just a basic. So we're starting basic, and I'm just going to use the side of this lip liner, which is a really great natural lip shade. So it's not too kind of like bright pink that it kind of adds a bit of a fashion or a trend element to your makeup. It's almost just enough pigment that's slightly browny, slightly rosy, that it kind of shapes the lips because it's slightly like it's a little tone darker than my own lips. But these are so soft and they're very flattering. So if you were just wanting to amplify your features on holiday, around the pool, or you just like a natural look, this is a really nice way to just emphasize your lip and then give your lips the protection that you want, because sometimes the SPF doesn't taste very nice. I always like to do it separately. This is really, oh my God, it smells so, I want to say childish, which is sort of a negative compliment or description of the product. But it just is sort of quite synthetic, but in a really great way. I like it because it's not too slippery, it doesn't have a cast, and it feels more balmy. And it's so cheap. And great high protection. So this is my first top tip for lippies in the sun. Okay, we're going to move on to a little bit of colour now. I'm going to have to stop and just take this off, or maybe I can just mattify it just slightly. I'll take this off. I can still kind of keep the shape and just take that excess product off. Let me just use a little bit of powder around my lips before we do the next colour. Now this is a really lovely brand. Violette, I'm sure many of you know. It's making sure that my camera is focusing correctly. It's focusing correctly. It's on autofocus. There we are. This is Violette. Make that a nicer frame for you all. Now these are the Bizu balms and they're so beautiful. They come in an array of shades and it's very similar to the Vive powder that I showed you, in terms that it really flatters the lips and makes them very velvety. This is a perfect texture, maybe if you are a little bit sort of red shy, or you want to wear a stronger colour on your lips but you just don't want the full-on lipstick. I would definitely recommend looking into this brand for that. This shade is Dolomite, I think it is. Got my really, oh look, they've just broken. Got these really great glasses that I wear at work. Look, if I can show you, because I was just about to charge them, but it looks like I've already broken them, which is so annoying. Can you see? We've got a little light at the front. So I make sure that I get all the detail. It's called Guimauve, a sheer matte lipstick. G-U-I, Guimauve. Guimauve. I don't know what that means. I need to look up what that means because that doesn't relate to the colour at all. Let me just have a look how that translates. I know I have a few lovely French followers and they're screaming down the barrel. Translate marshmallow. Oh, okay. That makes total sense. Jouer mauve? Jouer mauve? Oh my God, I'm sorry, please. I'm going to see whether I can actually do this properly. Right, this shade is called Guimauve. Guimauve. Translates to marshmallow in English. That's nice and tidy. Anyway, bear with me. Look. I know why she wanted to call it marshmallow, because it kind of adds this lovely cloud effect to the skin, and it's really, really soft. But as usual, I only recommend things that I love how they feel. And this is such... It's very sensuous. It's really, really soft. Just put a little bit on my cheeks, I think. All of these shades I can probably add. Oh, here comes the sun. Do 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 do. It's all right. Dee 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 dee. That'll break down quite nicely. Tell me that it's just not a lovely match with the blue denim. I love this. And it just feels so nice to use. If you've bought one, please do let me know and what shade that you love. It is so nice. Sheer matte lipstick. It's much more than a sheer matte. It's just really soft and, like I said, it feels quite sensuous. And also, for someone who doesn't have the fullest mouth, I think it's flattering on my lips. Would you agree? Right, so that's that. What am I going to show you next? Okay, let's move on to the next one. We are going to go beautiful rosy pink with one of my favourite ladies who I actually haven't spoken to in a while, but she has the most amazing brand. Can you guess the brand? Doesn't give too much away until I turn it around here. The amazing Trish McAvoy. And if you don't follow her on Instagram, I urge you to follow her. She's incredible and she actually is what she portrays. She's a very soulful, kind, empathetic lady who I did a couple of podcasts with and lives with in lockdown. I really, really like her brand. And this colour is called Femme. It is classically feminine. Okay, I love the colour, but it's also the texture. The texture feels what a cream moisture lipstick should feel like if you're trying to formulate. Like if I said to ChatGPT what would be the most kind of luxurious moisturising lipstick, I reckon he'd say Trish McAvoy. He? Why is it a he? It. Look how this looks. So it's not classic in the way that it looks as some lipsticks can do. A little bit sort of prim, mumsy. I'm really bringing that way too far of my lip line, but I'm just edging it over. It's kind of got this coolness to it in tone, which gives it a bit more of a modern edge. If you go for a pink it's a little bit more berry-like, it can go down that sort of meh route, whereas Femme just gives you that kind of whew. So there we are. I like to get it on nice and quickly, and then I like to perfect. So I'm just going to take those corners down at the slight here, Make sure there's not a build-up of product. And also I like to take a powder that's a little bit thicker than what I normally will do. Oh, look, here's a Trish McAvoy brush. And I'm going to put the powder either side. So if you just take the angle up, do you see? So you don't want to have your mouth coming down, which you can naturally do as we get older. So just taking that line up will give you a lovely finish. This shade in the Bare Minerals is light 20 warm. It's sort of similar, it was a little bit warmer actually than the, it's like a C3 in MAC Face and Body, no, Studio Fix. Okay, I'm going to blot. Now when you blot, take the tissue and go all over your lip. Don't bite, because if you bite, you miss that Cupid's bow. You actually miss the edge of the lipstick. And when you do the first coat, it's important that you don't get that build up, or you don't have that residue on the outside. And let's go in again with I don't need to add any powder because it's not too slippery. I'm going to use the point just to fill in that shape. The colour is dense. I'm going to just take this blush slightly higher. This might be too much, but we'll see. I don't think it will be. So I put the coral from the Jimouve lipstick a little bit on my cheeks, but just because it's the pink and it's got a hot, cool pink, just putting that slightly higher, just to give a nice little bit of a lift. Make sure that that is nice and tidy on that Cupid's bow. And if you're unsure, you can always take a nice little lip brush. I am unsure, I haven't done it right. And tighten that colour application. There we are. Good. Okay. Just because the balance now is quite strong around my mouth, which I love, I'm going to use a little bit, maybe we'll just use a bit of the terracotta. A little bit, oh look, that fits perfectly into my socket. That's nice. This Merit Terracotta just to knock back that heavier brow. So that just gives me a little bit of balance against the lip. Absolutely love. Okay, moving on. Oh, actually, I was going to show you something else. So, this is a really beautiful, classic lip colour with a bit of an edge. Like, you know, if you meet someone and they've got this kind of lippy on, you're like, oh yeah, I'll be your friend. What if you added this on top? This is the Glow Reviver Lip Oil Glimmer Finish from e.l.f. Crystal Baller. So I love the classiness of this lippy, but then look, metallic, iridescent lipsticks are kind of everywhere. Very, very on trend. Really nice, right? And then blend in. Now, and take it as close as you can to that lip line. Just leave it. God, look how amazing that makes my lips look. Just use it down the centre. I mean, that's from day to night, isn't it? You go to a beautiful wedding and then have the matte, lovely, gorgeous, nourishing lipstick on in the day, and then put this on when the night time comes. Oh gosh, one thing I haven't done. Such a good tip. Okay, anyway, it's a really nice addition if you want to rev up your existing lippies in your bag. Right, moving on to the next one. Right, now I've got 3 beautiful brights. I'm going to show you my sort of watermelon crush first. This is from MUA. It's called Romance. This is like, I don't know, £3, £4. It's brilliant. I did recommend it last year. I don't want to be repeating, parrot, but when there are things that are great, you have to, right? Because I'm extremely genuine and I will only ever talk about the things I love. And sometimes that's on repeat. So here you go. Look at the vibrancy and pigment of this. Now, I would wear this with something very simple, like a cream or a white t-shirt or a white dress, something like that. Probably wouldn't wear it with the blue as well, because it's a bit too much of a colour to wear with something else. Let's just put a little bit of the lip brush on. Imagine if I was a little bit browner. Sorry, my son has decided to do some DIY outside my office. And now he's hoovering up his mess. I mean, I'm not going to stop him if you don't mind, because I've been waiting for him to do this for about 3 months. How lovely is that? So with this, I get it on. I'm not going to make it too much. And then I will, with the tissue, blot, rub together and then blur slightly. With my finger, so you kind of get that little stain. I'm not going to add that to the cheeks because that's too much, but how cool is this colour? Do you love it? Okay, so 2 beautiful lipsticks I'm going to show you. One is number 241 from 3 Inner or Minna, never know which one. 341, their colours literally run through the whole of their brand. So if you want this shade in an eyeliner or an eyeshadow, you look for 341. Just make sure I'm 241 even. So this is a really beautiful orangey red and I love it. And I'm going to use one of my favourites from Lisa Eldridge, Strawberry Shock. Now, I'm not sure whether you can see the difference. Let me just put it on the back of my hand to show you. That's probably better. Can you see how one is much more orange and then watch one, Lisa's one is much more pink. I used to love, I've got like tiniest bit left, Lisa Eldridge's Velvet Morning. I have no idea why they chose to discontinue that shade. Well, I know why, because there was like an issue with stock, or they couldn't hold those colours, or there were just too many as new collections came in, but it was just such a great shade to eliminate. Anyway, this is a really beautiful orangey red, and the bright pink red. If you love red lipstick, rather than sort of wearing a classic Hollywood red, say, go for something with a little bit of a change of undertone, and that will make it more seasonal. This texture is wonderful too. When wearing, oh look at this. It's actually so much better when I put it on my face, right? Oh, look how it's doing to my eyes. Never be afraid, as you can see from my application, of getting the colour on. Okay, it's quite nice to just stain the lips and then worry about the shape. If you can take the tip and you do a lot of this and a lot of this, you can get too much lipstick on. So just go for it. Rub, rub, rub. Then I'll possibly just go with, whoopsie, well luckily that wasn't a full glass, little cotton bud, because I love a soft blurred line. I do not like a lip that has got a hard edge. Do you know what I mean? Like those lips that you'd get out of crackers and you sort of put raw teeth and they come out. No, that's what I think about if I have a lipstick that is too hard. So if I'm working on clients or whatever, I'll always soften and blot and maybe sort of slightly powder just to get that lovely finish. And it also helps with longevity of the colour as well. Oh, this is so, so nice and so elevating and so lifting. Now you can just use that bud just to push very tentatively. That pigment, yeah. I'm still happy with the colour. I don't think I need anything else on my face. Personally, I prefer it when it's just a little bit light and fresh. I could probably take a little bit more on this side of my lip. So I'm going to put the lipstick both sides and use that flat side just to edge out this side of my mouth, which is always a little bit weaker and softer. And keeping those angles at the sides a little bit lifted. Right, let's just take that down there. Running your finger down or taking a slightly smaller brush, just dipping that into powder. I just dipped it into the Bare Minerals powder. Straighten your lips like this. And just take that over your Cupid's bow. That just helps you to get a little bit more definition. Or what's also helpful for these kind of correcting moments, which I have here, is to use one of the lovely Lisa Eldridge concealer pens. This is what these are really great for, and I use at work. It's a bit of a propelling one. Just if you have any edges, you don't want to use the powder, this is a lovely way just to finish that up. Obviously you have to blend it through. Good. What do you think? Last one coming up now. Right, just that's quite a pigmented lippy, but that's no problem to kind of show you how I fix that. Just using that same powder again. I might use some of the Trini London, I might put a bit of balm on, but my lips actually feel fine. So we're going to go straight in with Strawberry Shock. Again, that really beautiful, hydrating texture. So pretty. I wonder when you guys look at me applying the colour, you think it's the same. Do you see the tones in the colour, or is it more just something that I see because that's what I love? Really soft, a little bit more creamy. Now, because it's more creamy, I'm going to just pause my lips just there so I can perfect it a little bit better. So again, dry the product out so you can get a really good stamp before you do the next layer. So I've really got to feather and lift this bottom line here, and then adjust this line here. But when you don't have too much slip in the lipstick, that's what allows you, you see, to get that perfect finish that quickly. And again, it's kind of getting that soft, diffused edge, which I love, especially because my lips are not perfect. And underlining them with that powder, bringing it down there. Super simple. I will just put a little bit more colour on. Lovely. There we go. Right, some inspiration for summer hot lips. I hope that was helpful. We look forward to reading your comments and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.